All right, ladies and gentlemen, another Super Hunt special here. And I'm lucky enough to be joined by J.R. Gray, Casey Maggard, and Wade Grashwitz. How you guys doing, guys?
Good. How you doing?
Well, I'm miserable. We've had some tough times this week hunting around here, haven't we?
It's tough in Texas.
It is. It is when it's this cold. But you guys are down here for the Super Hunt. Wade's sitting in here with us, of course, the man behind all this. What do you guys experience so far? First impressions. How you getting along down here?
It's a whole lot colder than I thought. I know that. I know that's. Well, I guess Wednesday night. That's the coldest 19 degrees I've ever been in.
We had your two, Lacey. We cut my pup one time. What else did we turn loose?
That was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
But tell everybody how that went, JR.
Well, didn't start out too good. We had to do a little correcting on a tree, and then Lacey treated coon. I guess me and you got over and run a few hogs for a couple hours, and I think we made a tree about 11 o'clock, and the next tree was about 5:30 that morning, 7 miles down the Trinity River.
So for the folks that don't know, these guys come down here. We hunted on, Wednesday night and last night.
Yeah.
And we're lucky enough to be staying with Sheriff Kevin Ellis. That's who has the camp and has the ranch that we're hunting on most of the time and all that stuff. Well, Kevin made a surprise appearance over here the next day after we drove through folks' camps and we drove around and we'd try to pick up this crazy thing of JR's that was wild as go get out. And Kevin come walking in the door the next day. Now, you guys had not met him. You had no idea that he was a sheriff or anything. How was that conversation?
Well, after it, I guess you could say I was ready to go back home. Yeah, when he said he needed me to step outside, I was, uh-oh.
Because we never got to hear the conversation out there.
Oh, he was good about it. Yeah, he asked what we was doing and where we was hunting at and who we was on. I kind of told him about all I knew. I said, man, I'm 15 hours from home. I don't know. He said, you got any guns? I was like, no. I said, we were just going to get a dog and get out. I said, it's 5 a.m. It was either get him 100 yards off the road or knock on somebody's door. And I said, I felt like the smart thing to do was get him and leave. And he said, well, we got a picture of your truck on a trail camera for trespassing. I said, you got to be kidding me. Because we was in a place that we probably shouldn't have been, but you know how it goes.
He come in and said, who's JR?
Yeah, I started feeling bad because we got out there. It's like 5.5 miles of crow flies where that dog got treed. And we pulled up there, and he's like, hey, he's probably 600 or 700 off of the blacktop. And it showed there's a big wide gravel road. There wasn't no trespassing signs or nothing, but I don't guess you have to have them in Texas. I ain't seen the first one.
It did say private road, though.
But on the Garmin, it said private road. And I'm looking, and he's, according to the Garmin, it's showing like 2 or 3 houses within 100 foot of him. I'm like, well, they're going to be awake anyways. We might as well drive up there. Then we get up there, and I guess some trailers have been moved or something. And I said, Casey, you just sit here in the road. I'll be right back. And I jumped across that fence and run down there and got him and got back out. So, when that sheriff rode up, I didn't know what to say.
I want to give both of you guys credit because I was guiding you all night. And not a single one of you threw me under the bus. All my friends have been like, hey, I don't know. This guy told me I could go in there. Neither one of them said nothing.
We just knew we had permission on Kevin Ellis. Little to know he was a daggone sheriff.
And you were talking to Kevin Ellis about how you had permission on Kevin Ellis.
Yes.
But no, it's been a good week. I wanted to sit you guys down a little bit just to talk about Willie and of course, Lacey and all that stuff. And I know them pups was aggravating the other night, but I seen especially your baby pup. Was she 8 months old?
She'd be 9 months old, the 22nd, I believe.
Yeah, and we sent her in there, and you told me she was action-packed and she was wild and she'd run whatever, which we all like that. Every one of us, we gripe about it. I griped about it all night night, But we turned her loose and she struck them hogs. She even had mine barking, and mine don't bark much on the ground.
She gets them excited,
She did. But when we're talking about Lacey and Willie pups and all that stuff, is that what you're seeing out of most of these dogs, these young dogs? They got a lot of motor like that, and they're hard going type dogs.
Yeah, I feel like most of them are. I've not had one out of Willie yet that I'm like, man, if it just had a little more gear. You seen it last night. Usually about everywhere we go, you like, well, we never had one cross the Trinity River. Well, he ended up crossing the Trinity River. We was in South Carolina with Scar, and this guy said, we've never had one get on the ocean front over here, and here she is going down the shoreline. So
Yeah.
it seems, I mean, they got plenty of hunt to them, plenty of drive.
Well, you think of the role that they've been on here. You know, what Little Ann's done, what Scar's done, what Lacey's done, what some of these others have done. Is it a credit to, it's always a credit to the females too, but these are, you know, they're out several different females. Willie seems to be throwing exactly what everybody's looking for. And the stud dog business, as you know, is not always, you know, sunshines and rainbows. It's kind of a pain in the butt.
Oh, yeah, I done figured it out. You know, if the pups turn out nice, they took care of their mommy. If they're duds, they took it after Willie. So
What is Willie throwing for the most part, you know, as far as, because he's going to have some bad traits too. All dogs throw some bad traits.
name a bunch of them.
Yeah, but what are the good and the bad that you're seeing out of these dogs?
Man, I feel like his biggest deals is they all got a lot of hunt, good mouths, and when they tree, they got coons.
Mm-hmm.
Most of his pups has got a lot better nose than what he had. You know, he was more ambush style, fly around, and if coons wasn't moving, you know, he could tree layups. Little did I know when he was around 1 and 2 year old what he was doing. You'd go in there and he'd just foul treed. Well, them coons, you know, he was 15, 20%. You know, if he made 10 trees, he's gonna have maybe two coons usually. And as he got older, that percentage got up. But every time he ran a track and he got treated, he had a coon.
Yeah.
So I kept, whenever he'd foul treat, I'd just bump him off of him. And then once he got a little more age on him, he started having them coons. And about the time he got goods, when we retired him.
When he started breeding,
Yeah.
did breeding females change him?
Starting out, no, but I could tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like everybody else. Once you start getting a little bit of it,
Yep. When we're talking about them dogs, and we're talking about Lacey, I've got to hunt with Lacey several times when Eric was hunting her pretty hard, and I got to hunt with her when she was young, and then now here. She can get wild and she can blow through the country, and I've seen her do those things, but she's pretty good to me. It seems like, at just treeing coons around you if she can.
She can, yeah. That's one thing I've always said. Well, 90% of the time she don't really out hunt her mouth. I mean, she got plenty of mouth. You're gonna hear her good, but she's just good about finding a coon, you know, and usually good about having them.
Well, she found the only coon that was running that night, I think, within a 5-mile radius. we hunted. And so, yeah, I see that. What about mouth? Because I've heard the biggest differentiate, I mean, I've heard them sound like your pup all night long, and I've heard them with great big hound mouths. I've heard them sound like Lacey. Does he throw a kind of an average or a standard mouth, or are they all different, it seems like?
I feel like for the most part, I mean, which that pup, depending on what she's running, you can tell a big difference. But, I mean, which you've heard Scar, but whenever that pup's running a right track and comes treed, she sounds like Scar.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got a booming mouth when she wants to use it. But when she's after like junk, she just kind of squeaks and squalls and squeals and whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like more than not, they're gonna be booming mouths.
Yeah.
I think you see. I mean, I think Willie's dominant trait in his mouth you see more in the males. I don't
Really
know what the difference
I agree
is,
with
but
you on that.
Yeah.
but you know, heck, I've got 6 males out here, and one of them's out of Willie. You're gonna know it.
Really?
Yeah.
What about some of the better crosses out of Willie? What were those?
I'm gonna say probably obviously the best cross is gonna be Lacey. You got Lacey, and then you got Doc. Both of them two's probably won together probably 250,000.
Mm-hmm.
And you know Doc, I'm pretty sure Doc, Christy and Brett's little girl won the PKC Youth World with him.
Yep.
And then he got second in the PKC World, and I want to think he got second or third the next year.
Yeah. I think so. And then, of course, he's coming off a big win just last weekend and down there at the $100,000 hunt, getting second there.
So I mean, I'm gonna say that one. Then you got Ann's litter. That whole litter with tree coons, they was all honestly pretty nice. But you know, Ann's had one of the better chances, and Strickland's done real well with her. And you know, Connor's cross there. There was a bunch of them out of that cross. You know, 2 or 3 there that turned out
I
pretty
forgot
good.
about Conor McGregor there, and there's a big male dog mouth too.
Yep.
You know, and that does kind of, when you think of the Willie males, he's kind of got a standard Willie male mouth.
I guess what was it? The first female you bred to Willie? 5 pups in that litter? 4 of them doubled up at the Super Stakes.
Really?
Yeah, one of them got third. It's pretty impressive.
What about how old is Willie now?
He's 10. He'll be 11 in June.
Are you planning on? I assume you got plenty of stuff stored on him and
Yeah.
all that stuff. Are you planning on getting another male stud dog out of Willie,
Probably
continuing
not.
on to breed him?
Probably not.
You
I
think
mean,
Willie's
if
gonna be
it worked out, I would, but he's going to be hard to top, and that would be my goal, would be try to top him, and I just been blessed with him, and we'll ride this wave as long as we can.
That's the end of the stud dog
Yeah.
business for J.R. Gray is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, you don't hardly ever see anybody, keep consistently have a great stud dog, and I just don't think they come along like that. It's
Yeah.
hard to find a dog that can win, and then once you win with them, they reproduce.
Yeah. It is hard to find both. It seems like they're either one or the other. They have a hard time throwing their likeness and things like that. But when you think of top stud dogs that are still breeding females right now, Willie's right there. You got Willie, you got Little Money, you got, of course, Rodeo and a few others. But, out of those 5, he's had just as much success as anything.
Yeah, I mean, right now I think he's like setting 6th in PKC all time.
Yeah.
I think he's got Power Pack, and then he's got Cuz, Bone Collector, Rat Attack, and Zeb 3 ahead of him.
Yep.
And then in UKC, he's definitely in the top 10. But I want to think right now he's like setting 6th,
Really?
6th or 7th in UKC.
Yep.
And the thing with him is, 2 years ago is when I bred the most pups. We bred 150 something females that year. So you're talking, he's got probably roughly, I'm gonna say 600 to 800 pups. It's 2-year-old or under.
Yeah. So he's still got a big impact to make.
Yeah.
The good thing about Willie, though, that a lot of stud dogs don't get is he got big early enough in his career that he could really breed a lot of females, get a lot of
Right.
pups on the ground late in his career. A lot of these males, you don't really realize what a great reproducer they were until they're 9, 10 years old.
Yeah, and I've been, like I said, we was blessed, man. Then too, the biggest thing with me, you got to have people that's gonna help support you and hunt dogs. And I mean, Casey, what other better female than
Yeah.
you see her picture every time, on the
Yep.
cover or something. She's won. And I mean, that's what it takes.
What about you, Casey? Whenever, it's crying shame, but these dogs ain't around forever. You know that just as well as I do. When Lacey's, old enough that she's lost a step and she may not be in the winner's circle anymore, are you going to stick with Willie pups?
Yeah, we had Kane, and he was good to us. So, but yeah, me and JR, heck, we've been buddies for probably 15, 18 years now.
Stay close.
Hunt
Yep.
together 3 or 4 nights a week, So we'll try to keep something out of him.
We'll shift gears here a little bit and talk super hunt. You guys got to sit here. You're in the lodge. We got the fire rolling. We're getting ready to start cooking all our supper, all that stuff. Tomorrow night is going to be different than what you guys have ever experienced. We all know that going in, unless you've already been to a super hunt or something like that. But, the camera glare, the pressure, the whole world watching. Is there anything in that, any butterflies already starting to brew up, or is it something you're just chomping at the bit, ready to get out there?
I'm ready to go, but it's like I told you a while back. Heck, if it's a $35 hunt or the finals of the world hunt, I ain't gonna lie, I get tore up the first few minutes.
Yeah.
But that's what I love about it.
What do you think about these other 3 dogs that you're getting ready to compete against?
Well, they're here for a reason. They deserve it. They're all good dogs, good dog men behind them, and you just never know how it's going to go. The one that catches the right breaks and probably trees the most coons tomorrow night's going to win.
Yeah. Wade, you've got to sit and talk to these guys and visit with JR and visit with Casey. And, of course, you guys have been in constant contact throughout all this, making sure and get all the details and get all these guys down here. What do you think of this year's Super Hunt crew?
Every year's been different.
Yeah.
These guys are fun. These guys are fun. Not the other groups haven't been, but this is a different group.
It's a little different. I think we all know each other a little better,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we can give each other a hard time. It's
Yeah.
all fun and laughs,
You better have thick skin down here this
That's
weekend.
right, yeah.
You better have some thick
You get
skin.
mad at your own fault, ain't it?
Yeah.
It's going to be rough. We talked about the hunting this week and how cold it is down here and how it's so different than what the past 2 super hunts have been. Do you think that's going to play into Lacey's advantage a little bit, or do you think it's going to be, because I don't think these coons are going to move like we're used to. I really don't. I don't think we're going to have this shootout, and we very well may. We may run out there, score 8, 9 coons, and everything look great, but on a rough night, are you looking forward to it more so than you would be if the coons were down and moving good?
Not really, I like to say, most of the time I feel kind of confident in treeing a couple coons in a cast or something, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah. What about the other dogs? I know Doug's sitting over there eating again. And we're going to set him down here in a little bit too, but Hooker hasn't made a tree in how long, Doug? 2 or 3 weeks?
Well, she just been going her own way, I guess. That's what I told him. He's waiting until Saturday to turn her switch on. She'll probably tree 7 or 8. It's untelling.
Yeah, she probably will.
Yeah.
7 or 8, Doug. That's the.
I'm gonna make him choke on his pizza.
Well, I thank you guys for sitting down. Wade, you guys got anything to add before we let these guys get up? I appreciate JR sitting here and telling us a little bit about Willie. That was a good idea to snag him and get him sit down. It's always good to pick these guys' brains that are at this level. But we've had a good experience so far. We're going to have another good one tomorrow night. You know, tonight's poker night. That could get a little wild. I don't know about that. We'll have to see. And then, of course, Saturday night, the hunt and all that stuff. So you got anything?
Just
Any
appreciate
predictions?
you guys making the trip. What an easy trip. Snowstorm, and you guys were south of the storm though coming in, weren't you?
Yeah, we went a couple hours out of the way, but it worked out a lot better for
Yeah.
us.
I know some of these guys drove right through it, so I appreciate you guys putting forth the effort and coming out here, and good luck tomorrow night.
You guys got anything to add
Yeah,
before we
you
shut
know,
this down?
Heck, when we figured out we were invited down here, I was excited for it. I know I asked JR to come with me, and he's been ready the whole time. We just want to thank you, Wade, and Joey Dog Food, and
You're
you,
welcome.
Josh. You know, it don't get any nicer than this. This is what it's about. Something to talk about for the next time. Hopefully, one of us win another world hunt.
Oh yeah, not your last trip.
Yeah, let's hope not.
That'd be
I mean,
nice.
honestly, come down here, I'm like, we're going to go to Texas. Never coon hunt in Texas. We'll see what it's about. But even though the hunting sucked, I've had a ball. I really appreciate you doing this.
Thank you. Thank you. No, this is when you put the 4 top dogs in 2024 in the same woods on the same night, and we call it the true world champion. I get a little nervous. I get a little antsy, and I don't even have a dog in the hunt.
That's what makes it fun, ain't it?
Yeah,
We'll quit whenever we don't get that.
That's right. That's right. So no, I appreciate you guys making the trip. Thank you.
All right. We ain't got nothing else to add. We're going to sit down with Doug and everybody else here in a little bit too, but I sure appreciate you guys sitting down with me. And, we're going to have some fun tonight and tomorrow night, and whoever has the best dog hopefully comes out on top.
Sounds good.
Appreciate it.
Thank you,
All right,
guys.
ladies and gentlemen, that is the Fueled by Joy podcast, and we thank you for listening.